Boulder here. This is my opinion on opinions taken from the op-eds of the major newspapers and blogs around the country. And this is op on op. Now, before I get into the particulars of this op on op, I just want to talk a little bit about the vice presidential candidate, Miss Sarah Palin. Now, there's been a couple of women who've run for vice president, and the ones that I know about, I did a little research on, and back in 1972, there was Frances Sissy Farenthold. And also in 1972 was a Tony Nathan, libertarian. And then, of course, we know about Geraldine Ann Ferrara. She was in 1984, and don't forget Winona LaDuke. And LaDuke was a running mate of the Green Party with Ralph Nader. And then, of course, we have Sarah Palin. Now, for the president's office, the first woman to run for president was Victoria Claflin Woodhull back in 1872. That's right. Belva Ann Bennett Lockwood in 1884. Margaret Chase Smith in 1964, a little closer to our time. And of course, Shirley Chisholm. As you know, she ran a good campaign. And then there was Patsy Takamoto Mink, Ellen McCormick, Sonia Johnson, Pat Schroeder, Lenora Fulani. Nice name. There was Carol Mosley Brown, and then of course Hillary Rodham Clinton. Now, I can only say that what I want to get to, of course, is Miss Sarah Palin. That's right, Miss Sarah Palin running for vice president for the Republicans. Now, I think she's a fine woman, and nice and pretty. I heard she was a beauty queen or something like that, and looking by her pictures, I guess she's got what it takes. Nice gams, if you know what I mean. Anywho, I took particular offense to what she said about community organizing. I guess a small town mayor is sort of like a community organizer, except that you have actual responsibilities. Well, my little lady, I can tell you that community organizers will run circles around you. That's right. You see, Miss Palin, this society, this democratic society we have here, doesn't always work for everybody. There are people who fall through the cracks, you know. And the people who catch those people who fall through the cracks are community organizers. That's right. Now, community organizers get involved in a whole lot of things, Miss Palin. As a matter of fact, they help individuals, sometimes they help groups of people, and sometimes they help whole communities of people. That's right. Especially those communities disenfranchised, which have grown in the past couple of years under the Republican rule. I was searching the blogs about this, and I came across one particular blog that I'd like to share with you all. It is from the Huffington Post, and written by Sally Kahn. That's right. Now, she takes particular offense to your comments about community organizing. Now, one thing she says, and I definitely agree with Ms. Kahn, is that the values that community organizers and grassroots leaders represent are not Washington values. They're not even Wall Street values. These values are American values, Miss Palin. American values. The Republican Party about these values, Miss Palin. So I'm going to give you a little bit of education. Some education about the principles of community organizing. That's right. The number one principle, Miss Palin, is listening. You gotta have a good ear. The other thing is relationship building. Something Mr. Obama does pretty well, and I say so myself. And then there's the challenge and action. And there's evaluation, reflection, and then, of course, my favorite part, celebration. That's right. You saw some of that at the Democratic National Convention. Now, Miss Palin, you talk about change, Well, I can tell you that Sally Kahn from the Huffington Post says the change voters are talking about this year builds on the shared problems community organizers have been helping people identify for decades. You hear that, Miss Palin? For decades. Just about as long as the Republican Party has been in power. That's right. Now, Miss Palin, of course, you know that we're all interconnected and have a valuable role to play in making our country work for all of us. Candidates should be courting these community values and not condemning them like you have, according to Miss Sally. And I have to agree. Maybe you need a more base kind of information, Miss Palin. Let me tell you what community organizing means according to Merriam-Webster's dictionary. First of all, let me talk about what community means, okay? Community. An unidentified body of individuals as a state, commonwealth. The people with common interests living in a particular area. Society at large. A joint ownership of participation. Obviously, Republicans don't care about participation, do ya? Now let's talk about organizing and what it means. Okay? Now, organize, it means to cause to develop an organic structure, to form into a coherent unity or functioning whole, to integrate, to set up an administrative structure, to arrange by systematic planning and united effort. You hear that? United effort. Now, Miss Palin, I just gave you a definition of community organizing, and I just told you about the principles of community organizing. All those people in that convention, all those people who work for you, who go out and knock on doors and try to get out the vote, people who get, people who come and see you, hear you, listen to what you got to say. All those people, Miss Palin, are community organizers. Now, I'm sure that you've been in the PTA, right? From what I understand. Now, a PTA is a kind of community, don't you think? And the people in that community organize the parents and the teachers together. Well, those are community organizers too. And just to give you an example of how the Republican Party just folds on to itself, all those people in that convention, all those people huddled around that little podium of yours in that big, huge stadium out in St. Paul, well, all of those people are community organizers too. So, in effect, even your own people laughed at themselves. Well, good luck to you. Like I said, landslide, landslide, landslide.